Venky, that's the management in focus. While we've had a quiet but a steady start for ourselves, actually, no, we've picked up quite a fair bit. So comfortably above that 11,650 mark, a fresh high for the Nifty. The breath as well standing up quite nicely. But we've got Venky's, that's the one in focus. Uttara Foods expanding capacity in the SPF eggs business, moving away from contract farming, expanding into processing as well as feed business. So let's chat a little bit more about all of these parameters. B. Venkatesh Rao, the MD at Uttara Foods and Feeds, joins us on the show right now. Mr. Rao, morning. Good to have you on the show. Let's firstly start by talking about your high margin SPF eggs business. Now, we understand that you will be increasing capacity from the current 1 crore per year. By how much would you be upping capacity, and when will that capacity come on board?
I think there are 3 locations, originally 2. And one additional at Pathan is coming up, the expansion plan, which we are producing about 1 million eggs per month, and it's going to 1.20, 1 crore 20 lakhs, which can go up to 1.5 CR production. Basically, these vaccines are, you want to hear the usage of the SPF eggs, or how do you want to go, ma'am?
Eggs that you're giving it to Hester Life Science and Serum Institute, but what we want to know is that from 1 million to 1 crore, when will you reach there, and how much, what is your margin per egg?
Margin, I will say very difficult. It is a costing issue, but I can easily tell you what the production levels are. Right now it is 1 crore, and it will go to upward 1.6, that is 1 crore 60 lakhs, where we are using for human consumption and the chicken consumption vaccines, basically. And if you go in the depth of it, we have vaccines manufacturers all over India, including our competitors, using our SPFX. And in human line, I think we are producing for so many vaccines, like for suppliers, we are like for, you can say, Serum Institute, we are supplying for rabies, we are doing for MOMS vaccine, we are doing for yellow fever, we are supplying for measles, we are supplying. Yeah.
How much of your total SPF or high margin egg business is there in Venky's, the listed entity, and how much is there in Venkateshwara Hatcheries, the parent company?
Sir, Venkateshwara is the majority of SPF eggs are in Venky's only, and the only company which Venkateshwara holds is in America, in South Carolina, in Pickens, South Carolina, where we produce about, in America, we produce is a Venkateshwara group. Our group, of course, we produces about, I think it produces about not much of 1 million eggs per annum, where we are increasing our capacity in USA to 3 million per annum, where we are supplying to, again, the vaccine manufacturers in America. There are only 3 vaccine manufacturers in the world, the major ones. It's, I think, Lohmann, America, Charles River Labs in America, and then comes Weber Acres, that is Venky, Venkateshwara as such.
Rao, I know you touched upon this earlier. I just want to understand this better in terms of numbers. What is the price or margin differential between SPF eggs sold to external customers versus those sold to the group company?
Exactly, it is a policy, the company which they are running actually, and if you say that if you want to have the depth of the retail costing, it would be very difficult to put across what price each egg I would be selling commercially, or each egg I will be selling in-house. So it's a little ticklish issue where I'll have to go and study and come back to you, because the costing, if you ask me, it will be very difficult to expose or tell any company, I'm sure, who's selling bikes or anything else, he won't be telling you pricing of what is going to in-house or what is going to sell outside.
At least for, if not on the profit side, on the revenue side, can you break it up between how much is sold to Serum Institute, how much to Hester, and how much is sold to the group company that makes vaccines? Can you at least give us a revenue breakup?
Let me put it in another way. Instead of going in I'll give you a roundabout idea, where we do about 60% we supply to our chicken manufacturers, vaccine manufacturers, and 20% goes in the market, and 20% goes with our supply in-house.
Let's try and understand the business a little bit better as well. If one talks about the poultry business in particular, we'd like to understand what your current capacity is for the day-old chick and whether or not you have any expansion plans for the same. And also what percentage of, broiler business is now via contract farming and how much of it is in-house?
Yes, thank you. Ma'am, it's like this that we produce, the entire industry produces about 40 crores per month, which you can say 60% is in contract and integration, and 40% is in open farming. So, and there's still scope of 10 to 12% every year, which is the growth level is up to. And over and above, then again the glut situation starts. But then this multinational chains and further processing, and as it is a 5% total 6 to 7% of further processing market which has reached to, including competitors, including Venky's, including all these multinationals which they are supplying to, things like that.
Can you broadly tell me that how much of your existing poultry business is in Venky's Limited and how much of your core or non-core poultry business is in Venkatesh Hatcheries?
Venky's, the processing is entirely in Venky's, of course. Part of integration is in Venky's, and I would say it should be still about because of breeding, and then you have got your own parent farm. So I would say it should be about 70%, 70-30 still Venkatesh holds. Yeah.
Which you would do, or the higher margin businesses, for example, you moved into products, you moved into various extension of your egg brands in terms of protein and other high protein products. Will that happen in Venky's or will that happen in Venkateshwar Hatcheries?
It happen in both situations, because we have come out with a new product as a chocolate drink which we are heavily campaigning on. It's Venkateshwara Group, but Venky is also, as we are more emphasizing and I think focusing on chicken, as you know, the SPF technology, the chicken. We are also in the retailing outlets we are focusing. So more of a poultry we are looking at Venky's India as such and Venky's company as such. And anything in future, of course, there are some secret plans which I think we'll reveal next year, I think, for this. We have the soybean units coming and the oil seeds coming and things like that.
Okay, fair point. So last question is that, do you get benefits of farm income on an aggregate level because poultry and farm businesses are connected, or there is no huge tax advantage which you currently get despite having presence in the poultry sector?
Honestly, we don't anything very special about it, because it has been from 2 decades the same question arises whether poultry is in agriculture or non-agriculture and things like that. So whether we are here or whether we are there, we are not getting any special incentives, but except the midday meals which we request, and which in some states the government have been very kind enough to observe this midday meals scenario, but otherwise there is no some special incentives or anything like that, except for everybody gets for exports. That's a different issue, but as poultry as such we don't have anything special. So
okay Mr. Rao, good luck with that then. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us today.
Thank you all. Thank you.
That's the view coming in from Venky's. What is the market then up to right now? We're holding steady. We are in line with the rest of the globe. Actually powering up further, I should say. 11,660 is where we're currently at. Good market breadth with Torrent Power, Grasim, Dabur, SAIL, Jindal Steel.